Well, last month, I believe that we canceled this. My counterpart had some stuff going on, and I was in a play. So thank you for your patience. Not a play that anybody would have heard of because it was a local theater's locally sourced play festival. We have been continuing to work on making. It was a lot of fun. I really like doing plays. Okay, Yuzuru. We have been working on making Marketplace more and more responsive. We've added more controls to the responsive Marketplace product pages search options. And we're working on making the Marketplace search results and category pages responsive as well. And we are also working on additional updates to the new downloads page. We're going to be adding translations there, and we're going to be adding we're going to be streamlining the system requirements and pointing to the other system requirements page so we don't have it in two places. We don't want to get out of sync. And we're also adding Firestorm download buttons to our downloads page, which is exciting since almost everybody uses Firestorm. We are working on some updates to make it easier for people who have Project Zero streaming accounts to get back to their streaming session for however many hours of streaming they have available to them. And we have been working on some back-end update things as well. Finally, that migration stuff that y'all probably don't care so much about is finally coming to a close, so I'll be able to focus on other things. And Sntax says he will be here in a moment. What questions do y'all have for today? Voice provisioned. Excellent. Oh, we have a Juniper.
Hi.
You're not the only one, Juniper.
One of those days.
It has been one of those days for me too. But I knew I needed to change my avatar before I came in today, so. My voice bars just are going crazy because I'm leaving my mic open, but am I actually making a ton of noise when I'm not talking?
There's a little bit of like a background crackle, but it's not particularly loud for me.
Thank you, Juniper and Bumping, for letting me know that I'm not that noisy. We, as far as I know, are not planning to add additional third-party viewers to our downloads page. What Juniper said. because the number of people that use Firestorm is so high. If another third-party viewer got as high a percentage or nearly as high as a percentage as Firestorm does, then I think we would look into it. But the majority of people who play Second Life use Firestorm. That too. So, Felix, that's a good question. We've been talking internally, and there are some pages that I believe Signal put together in a readme.com. But we haven't made a full court press to move the public wiki to readme.com yet. Sntax, I already went over that we have continued to work on moving the marketplace to responsive, that we've been working on. We added the search features and toggles to the responsive pages, and now we're starting to work on the search results and category pages. I mentioned that we're adding some things to make it easier to get back into Project Zero when that comes up, and that we are adding some Firestorm buttons to the downloads page and some other stuff to the downloads page. I haven't kept up with what all y'all are doing on the Project Zero side, so I don't know what updates you want to put out there.
Does anyone know if Firestorm Beta on Linux is using WebRTC, or are they still in VBox? Probably still in VBox. I don't know for certain. Yes, so for changes to... everyone can hear me, right?
Yep, I can.
Okay, great. I hear typing. So I'm actually on a version of Zero that I'm not quite certain if would work with my microphone, but apparently it is. So, yes, we are working on some things that are web-related, that are kind of tangentially related to Project Zero. So, for example, we're going to be making some changes to the homepage. We're going to be making some changes to what we call the join flow. A lot of these are things that you probably won't notice. We'll be making like background changes. We'll be making tweaks here or there to designs. But nothing that's like major feature-wise. Mostly things like we changed links on the web dashboard to no longer have the Firestorm version. It just links to Project Zero, which, by the way, we changed the web address. It's no longer zero.secondlife.com. It is now web.secondlife.com. The reason why we decided to do that is that we found that only a core group of people understood what we meant by that. So people who read our blogs, people who are very, very invested in Second Life, they're the only ones who really understand why it says zero. And we found that it was a little bit harder for newer people to understand or type that in. So we've switched over to web.secondlife.com. So if you're trying to log into the Zero client, going to zero.secondlife.com is not going to take you anywhere. Okay, so other changes we were working on. We're adding a launch button on the web dashboard. So if you log into your account on secondlife.com, on the web dashboard, there's a button to launch the Zero viewer. There also is the links that we changed there that I mentioned earlier. And I mentioned that we're making some changes to the homepage. Basically, everything will more or less stay the same. We're just doing some design tweaks. It's not like we're going to remove something from there. The join flow is going to take some changes, and it's going to be something like, oh, the background on this page might change. But other than that, a lot of things are kind of staying the same. For other web properties, I know Kali already mentioned that we're working on responsive. So we're working on responsive marketplace search. We're also working on marketplace search results pages. That's not the same thing as working on web search, right? So web search is search.secondlife.com, not the marketplace, completely two different things. Let's see, what else we got?
We were doing a lot of work in April on some back-end stuff, Sntax, so it's possible that I'm checking through the deploy calendar to see what else is fun and user-facing, but there may have been a lot of background work that was not super exciting for users.
Right, yeah, we are doing some migrations as well that hopefully people won't notice. Okay, so I have a couple questions I want to ask people, and then I can open up for Q&A for other people to ask me questions. One of the things I wanted to ask is who here is a merchant and uses the Casper event system for doing sales and coupons? Or if you are a merchant and you do use Casper Vend, have you ever even used the sales and coupons feature? Why do you only use it at selling at events? Can you give me more explanation what you mean by a shared product that's bundled across multiple products? Is it kind of like this item has multiple different versions of it, like several different colors or something like that?
Are you talking about having marketplace listings with multiple different listings of the same product, but with different colors?
I think he's talking about the Ifrit comment about shared product that's bundled across multiple products. We want to know more words on that.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so it's something that is included with the other product, I see. So you're not actually using the coupon system in that situation to do a discount or a sale. This is more a way for you to bundle the items together so they can buy more in one. Thanks, I'll check out that Discord group. Okay, if you do use Casper's event to do sales for items in world, how do you generally do it? Do you generally be like, okay, my entire store is off by 15%, or do you normally do it by item? Interesting. This was posted today. I wonder if they saw that today.
Was the queue full error? Have you seen that recently, or was it from a week or two ago? But in May, you mean? Like, have you seen it within the past week? Is more my question.
Yeah, MediaWiki extension. When we upgraded the version, there's a chance that it got broken, but I know that they're still working on it. So we should mention that to Stray and Co. We'll get that in front of the right team about the syntax highlighting. The in-world wiki access via the viewer should be fixed as of like 5 minutes ago. And
I can confirm I'm doing it right now.
Cool. And the syntax highlighting, that team says, is going to take a little bit longer, but they are aware and are working on it.
So I know that there's been a lot of updates and changes to the marketplace. I was wondering what the deal was with zooming on images and also the extreme padding between the images and the rest of everything. For example, like I can see the little hand to click on my main image, but the zoom functions no longer work. And there's like a 200, 300 pixel gap between the image and everything, like the add to cart, add to gift, etc. on the right side.
I'm gonna also double check in the UI right now, but I can probably answer that question in a moment. I'll type up my answer once I'm done sharing via voice. So the cursor being clickable, that is a bug. That's misleading. It lets you think that the zoom is actually a functionality that's there, but it isn't. To the comment about zoom, if I remember correctly, the issue is that the true zoom that we had, the modal view, was not actually zooming as much as it was displaying the original image size. And right now what we are doing is we're just defaulting to the original image size. Previously, we had a limitation on how we, on the size of images that we could upload, and we still are kind of enforcing that, but the future hope is that we would remove that and have like a larger scale image for people to see, and then maybe incorporate a zoom afterwards. So I think that answers the question. You're right, there is a bug. The cursor is misleading, so we can file a ticket for that. But the modal view, we simply just replaced the modal view with just putting what was in that zoomed image directly in the page.
I see. So it wasn't really doing a whole lot, so no reason for it to be there then.
Yeah, it wasn't. I would love to be able to get bigger image sizes and get a true zoom in for people, but I can't get that work immediately prioritized, and we'll have to see about getting the space for it. But yeah,
Is there
that's the reason.
a particular reason for the extreme padding?
I think it's just because of the nature of the limited image sizes and how our designer kind of viewed it originally. I think we just wanted a wider view for desktop, and so as you shrink down, it has a bit more room to collapse. But I can give feedback to them and see what they say.
We have testers for Marketplace, and they are using whatever browsers we say we support, which are the newest versions, the couple of newest versions of, I believe, Edge, definitely Firefox, definitely Chrome, and probably Safari. I personally am on Mac and mostly use Chrome as my daily driver. And then I think other people on the team are on Windows and use whatever browsers. Yeah, but Neil, why do you go there? Because you can look at the Lindex values on the Lindex pages, and those are correct, even if the data feeds ones aren't. Bumping, what browser and OS do you use? Because when I have mine set to super wide, it doesn't do that. You're not the first person to ask for that, actually, Dantia. There hasn't been any work on map since last time we talked, I don't think, y'all. On web map. We agree internally too, y'all, about maps should get some love. We just only have so many hands and so many hours in a day. Well, we're also not using voice, if that helps.
Yeah, no one's been talking for a while, just in case.
I totally agree that the events page is a mess. There are so many things wrong with it. I want to just scrap it and start over. Not in a losing all your events way, but in a it needs a lot of work way. I want maturity ratings. I want a centralized maturity rating system that we just plug into everything at Linden, so that you are using the same kind of maturity ratings, and so that we don't rewrite the same kind of maturity ratings everywhere. I don't know how to report people who have a whole bunch of the same event, but I can think about it and ask for some suggestions internally.
That hour went by fast.
Yeah, Eric, I was talking about in May, Sntax had a baby and I had a play, so that's why we didn't have one. Thank you. And we have definitely talked about having more than one. Getting more than 1 hour of syntax time has been tough lately. We do want to do it, and I will talk to some folks internally about if there's a way we can make it happen more than once a month. Oh, can I talk about the migration stuff? The back end things that we mentioned that we were working on? Yeah. Alright, so our build images across all of engineering were stored in one artifact maintenance system that was changing in a way that we couldn't continue to use, and their support was not great. So we decided to go with a different build image storage solution, and getting all of our services moved from one to the other took time. I mean, we're using AWS, and we are storing images in an AWS tool, but this is like a dependency management thing that does extra stuff besides just AWS. And yes, AWS is Amazon Web Services. Some ECR, yeah, that's where the images that will be used for spinning new services up when they spin down. But we're using Cloudsmith for other dependency build stuff. Sure. Thanks. Talk to you later.